4 astronauts, 1 spacecraft, 250,000 miles of empty void between them and the most dramatic destination in our solar neighborhood. And for the first time in over 50 years, human beings are going back to the moon. What you are witnessing right now is not just a rocket launch, it is the opening chapter of the most ambitious human adventure since Neil Armstrong's boot touched the lunar dust in 1969. Welcome back, humanity. We've been waiting for this moment for a long time. So today, let's slow down. Let's actually understand what Artemis II is, why it matters on a scale that goes far beyond national pride, and why this mission, even though it doesn't land on the moon, might be the most important step we've taken in space exploration in half a century. Let's start at the beginning. The Artemis program was NASA's bold answer to a question that had haunted space agencies for decades. When are we going back? After Apollo ended in 1972, humans simply stopped going to the moon. Budget cuts, shifting priorities, a world that had moved on. For 50 years, our most powerful exploration of the lunar surface came from robots and orbiters, not boots and heartbeats. Artemis I changed that silence. In November 2022, NASA launched its colossal Space Launch System, the most powerful rocket ever built, on an uncrewed test flight around the moon. The Orion spacecraft flew 270,000 miles from Earth, looped around the lunar far side, and splashed down safely in the Pacific Ocean. It was a triumph of engineering. But it was a rehearsal, a dress rehearsal for the real thing. Artemis II is the real thing. For the first time since Apollo 17 in December 1972, human beings are riding a spacecraft bound for the moon. The crew of 4, Commander Reed Wiseman, pilot Victor Glover, mission specialist Christina Koch, and Canadian Space Agency astronaut Jeremy Hansen, represent something profound. Victor Glover will become the first person of color to travel to the moon's vicinity. Jeremy Hansen will be the first Canadian. Christina Koch will be the first woman. These are not just symbolic firsts. They are a declaration that the next era of lunar exploration belongs to all of humanity. Now, here's something important to understand. Artemis II is what NASA calls a crewed flyby mission. The astronauts are not landing on the moon. They will fly a free return trajectory, a sweeping, elegant arc that takes them around the far side of the moon, approximately 4,600 miles above the surface, before gravity slings them back toward Earth. The entire mission lasts about 10 days. But don't let the word flyby fool you into thinking this is somehow less impressive. Every single system that needs to work for a future lunar landing, life support, navigation, communication, re-entry, is being stress-tested with living, breathing human beings on board. This is the mission that proves humans can make the journey safely. This is the mission that unlocks everything that comes next. Think of it like this. Before the first transatlantic passenger flights, aviators flew the route solo to prove it was survivable. Artemis Ascent is that solo crossing. Artemis III, the landing, is the passenger service that follows. Now let's talk about where they're going, because the moon is not the quiet, unchanging world you might imagine. The lunar environment is extreme in ways that challenge every assumption we make about survival. On the sunlit side, temperatures soar to 260 degrees Fahrenheit. In permanent shadow, they plunge to -280. There is no atmosphere to protect you from cosmic radiation or micrometeorite impacts. The regolith, that fine, powdery surface soil, is razor-sharp under a microscope, formed by billions of years of meteorite impacts with nothing to weather it smooth. And yet, hidden in the permanently shadowed craters near the lunar South Pole, scientists believe there are billions of tons of water ice. Water on the moon. That changes everything. Water can be split into hydrogen and oxygen, rocket fuel. It can sustain life. It transforms the moon from a destination into a launch pad, a refueling station at the edge of the deep solar system. This is why the Artemis program is aimed specifically at the lunar South Pole. This is why Artemis III, the landing mission, will touch down near that region. And this is why what Artemis II accomplishes in the next 10 days has stakes that extend all the way to Mars. Here comes the perspective shift, the one that I want you to sit with. Right now, as you watch this video, as you go about your day, 4 human beings are traveling farther from Earth than any person has gone since 1972. They are crossing a distance so vast that if you drove a car at highway speed 65 miles per hour without stopping, it would take you 5.5 months to reach the moon. And they are doing it strapped inside a capsule roughly the size of a large SUV. But here is the thing that stops me cold every time I think about it. When those astronauts swing around the far side of the moon, they will lose all contact with Earth. No radio, no signal, no voice from mission control. For those minutes, they will be more alone than any human beings in history, on the other side of a world that has no atmosphere to carry sound, staring out at a universe that stretches for 93 billion light-years in every direction. And they chose to be there. They trained for years to be exactly there. That is what exploration looks like. That is what courage looks like at a cosmic scale. And when they return, when Orion pierces Earth's atmosphere at 25,000 miles per hour, trailing a 5,000-degree plasma fireball and splashes down in the Pacific, they will carry back something more valuable than moon rocks. They will carry back proof that the Orion spacecraft works, proof that the Space Launch System works, proof that humans can survive the journey. And with that proof, the door to Artemis III swings open. A landing on the moon, with a crew that includes the first woman and the first person of color to set foot on the lunar surface, possibly as soon as 2026. And beyond that, NASA's Gateway Lunar Space Station, long-duration habitation on the surface, and eventually, the technologies and experience gained from living on the moon will become the blueprint for something even more audacious, a crewed mission to Mars. We are not just going back to the moon. We are learning how to become an interplanetary species. Artemis II is the first sentence of that story. 52 years ago, a civilization looked up at the moon and said, "We were there once. We should be proud." Today, we get to look up and say something different. We are going back, not just to plant a flag, not just to win a race, but to stay, to learn, to build, to reach for the next horizon and the one after that. This is what humanity looks like at its best: curious, courageous, and unwilling to stop reaching for the stars. If this mission fills you with the same awe it fills me with, hit that like button. It truly helps this channel grow and keeps these stories reaching people who need to hear them. Subscribe if you're new here, because we cover every major space mission, discovery, and cosmic mystery with the depth it deserves. And drop a comment below. I want to know, where were you when Artemis II launched? What does it mean to you? Next time, we're going somewhere even more mind-bending, the lunar South Pole itself, the most scientifically valuable, most treacherous, and most mysterious real estate in the entire inner solar system. You will not want to miss it. Until then, keep looking up.